I thought the best summary of what happened at the G20 was given by this reporter, whether you've heard from ABC News in Australia, Chris Ullman, talking about what the fact is when you look at it, the votes, like on climate change and other things, were all 19-1. He calls it sort of the decline of the American empire. Here he is.
The G20 became the G-19 as it ended. On the Paris Climate Accords, the US was left isolated and friendless. But given that that was always going to happen, a deft president would have found an issue around which he could rally most of the leaders. And he had the perfect one, North Korea's missile tests. So where was the G20 statement condemning North Korea, which would have put pressure on China and Russia? Other leaders expected it. They were prepared to back it, but it never came.
Never came, never a vote on that. That was the one thing that Donald Trump could have pulled everybody together on. And so overall, looking back, as Chris Ullman says, where we used to be the leader, we are no longer.
So what did we learn? We learned that Donald Trump has pressed fast forward on the decline of the United States as a global leader. He managed to isolate his nation, to confuse and alienate his allies, and to diminish America. He will cede that power to China and Russia, two authoritarian states that will forge a very different set of rules for the 21st century. Some will cheer the decline of America, but I think we'll miss it when it's gone.
Ooh, isn't that tough? Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss it when it's gone. But it is true. This has been our show, the G20. We put it together. American presidents always led. We set the agenda. We brought people together to face the most pressing problems on the planet. And this time we were just the odd man out.
And there was that one picture of him sort of sitting alone at the table. Everybody else is engaged in different conversations. And I thought that was just a really good, metaphor for the entire trip. Hey, look, this entire presidency has been a waking nightmare. But this was really, I thought this guy encapsulated it perfectly. I mean, he had an opportunity. If he was a normal president, if he cared about America leading in the national stage, if he cared about anything besides lining his own pockets and his own family's pockets with money, he would have done something about North Korea. He would have figured out some way to say, hey, American leadership, I may not agree with you on Paris climate change or much of anything else, but here's something where we can agree upon, and let me show some leadership here. But this isn't normal. Nothing about this is normal. And it's really sad when you think about how quickly he is diminishing our stature in the world. It's been 6 months.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, and it's really sad. And assuming he loses in 2020, I don't know how we come back from this.
It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work.
It is.
It really, a lot of Barack Obama's first steps as president, as much as people, Fox News tried to turn this into an apology tour,
Right.
was sort of like reaching across to other countries and saying, we've isolated ourselves a little bit. We'd like to change that.
Right.
Which was a good look.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty well for us for 8 years.
It was a good thing to do, but this is, we thought Bush was bad.
Yeah.
But again,
and to be clear, Bush was
Bush
bad.
was bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But even George Bush, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, right, Bill Clinton, the American president at these meetings was always the one that people looked up to.
Yes.
And the United
We set
States,
the agenda.
we set the agenda. We may not have always agreed with it, but we were the leader, and the American president was the leader. And with this one, you could see that people did not take Donald Trump seriously.